This is the Narrowboat Review, and I am Jack Beyer, your Narrowboat reviewer. Today is December the 27th. It's a Sunday, and it's just about noon here in Crystal Beach, Florida. I'm doing a closeout. There's like 65 vlogs that have come out since the 24th, and I'm just going to tear through them, folks. No special effects, just me and my review. Well, Merry Christmas, folks. You've caught me in my vlog studio here in Vlog Central. It's the like 2 days after Christmas. We don't do Boxing Day. I've got one friend from Canada who does Boxing Day, and we had a heck of a party at his place yesterday. Um, I wish, I hope that all of your Christmases were bright and that your Boxing Day was fun, eventful, and filling. We've got New Year's Eve coming up. I probably will get another vlog or so between now and the end of the year. But let me get into it. I'm changing the format as I announced in my last vlog. It was getting depressing trying to say nice things about stuff, and my mother said to me, if you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. So, Mom, I'm listening to you. Rest in peace. Why do we watch vlogs? I watch them because it makes me feel closer to the Narrowboat community where I want to be and would be if it wasn't for this pandemic. And I will be there June, or I'll be in COVID land, one or the other. But that's the reason why I do it. But a lot of people, it's like watching a TV soapbox opera. You come back each time just to see what the characters have done and what's different. I would say that most vlogs are like that. Most are people's lives, and you watch them because you've fallen in love or in like with the people. And you're hooked. You got to come back and see the next adventures of Pauline, so to speak. What's happening to them new? Some vlogs, the kind that I like, are history, and they are like Andy Tidy or Stephen Parker. They tell you in detail the story of the canals since they were first dug. Some are informational. They show you a map. They show you where the water points are. They show you where a good mooring spot is. They tell you that if you're going to go down the Foxton locks, you better get to the gatekeeper or lockkeeper rather, and tell them your intentions so you get in the queue. Or you better call this lockkeeper on your phone to tell them that you're coming. Or you better be careful of the Ripple link. But interesting things about cruising that are nice to know. Another set of vlogs are the do-it-yourself. The classic is James of the Narrowboat that James built, or the Narrowboat Project. These are gentlemen that are still working on narrowboats, and there's more. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, leave any of you out. Winging it. Okay, there's another one. Sorry. But those are also valuable, but really, they're valuable for the people that are doing or have intentions of doing or want to learn about doing something on their narrowboat. Yeah, sure. The couples that do these things, you get hooked on them and you want to see what happens. James, for instance, of the narrowboat that James built, he's an interesting guy. And I'm that kind of person that when somebody does something that they know really well and they do it really well, it's a joy to watch that. It's a joy. It's like a piece of art almost. Another kind of vlog, and this is like Onboard Isness or Mindful Narrowboat. To me, those are inspirational vlogs. I watch them because of the thought process of the people that are vlogging, Vanessa and Dave, and how they view their world and share that view with you. To me, it's a peaceful, inspirational, wonderful feeling, and I'll always watch those vlogs. But what I find myself doing is staying away now from the vlogs where it's a couple and I just don't care what happens. I'm sorry. Um, During this pandemic, since March, a lot of vloggers, they blossomed in this summertime when all of the restrictions were lifted, and they put out some great vlogs on cruising, and were very informational and really were good vlogs. But then we get in lockdown again, and people pull out their old footage, or they put up cooking videos. Sorry guys, I don't need to see a cooking video. I really don't. I saw a lot of Christmas stuff, and it's like a Christmas card. I read it and I put it aside. Would I share my Christmas card with somebody else? I don't know. If it's got a pre-printed name in there, no. I think it's important that we all recognize that vlogs take time. And if I say that I don't watch a particular vlog, I don't want to minimize the effort or the intent of the people that do it, because it does take work. And I never watch a vlog, well, maybe one or two, but out of the literally hundreds that I've seen this year, there's only been one or two where I gave it a thumbs down. Almost all of them, just to recognize the effort, I'll give it a thumbs up. And I subscribe to over 130 vlogs. That's where we are, folks. 130 Narrowboat vlogs right now. And I got them all on a spreadsheet. Be glad to share it. If you send me an email, I can send it to you as an attachment. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put on my glasses, and we're just going to go right to it. I'm going to go down my list of 60. I'm going to be just real as real can be. Again, if it's a vlog that you like because you enjoy those people, please continue it. I don't want to tell you not to watch something. From now on, I'm going to let you know when there's something really worth watching. Okay, let's go. First thing that I saw on the 24th was Winging It, Boating on a Budget. Whew. This is Don and Sky. And Sky is a very sincere guy, a very informative guy, and Don is very supportive. He started off with a boat called Nuts and Volts, and I think that's still around somewhere. But now he's working on the Leander Lady. It's a DIY. I'm not into DIYs. I like the heck out of him when he talks, but I'm not a DIY guy. Next was Narrowboat Will. I go hot and cold on Narrowboat Will. Recent cruise, he came down the Avon, and I liked his vlogs. I liked his banter, and I liked his videos. But he turned me off when he said, well, I don't want to do this anymore, meaning Narrowboat. I want to go play golf. He redeemed himself further down the Avon. My wife's favorite city, village, town, whatever you want to call it, in England is Tewkesbury. We both love that city, if it's a town, city, whatever. And Narrowboat Will did a beautiful photographic guide through Tewkesbury, and that redeemed him. Then I got upset with him until he told me why. I got upset with him because he went up to Severn and then made that horrible right turn into Worcester. And he ran out of battery, so he couldn't show me how he made the turn. And I digged him on it during my Narrowboat review, but he wrote me back and said, I wanted to get it too. It is a hell of a turn, but I ran out of battery. Well, Narrowboat Will this time is back on the Birmingham-Worcester Canal, and he's headed up towards the Tartabiggie flight. He did a good job with his local information. He showed you where there was nice moorings. He showed you where the water points are. And he has a nice sense of humor. I watched it on a 1 to 10 scale. Give it a 7 or an 8. 10 means you got to watch it, folks. Next, the Tiny Narrowboat. Tiny Narrowboat is Kelly and Garth. It's a young couple just starting out. They went over a question and answer Q&A thing that they had gotten chats about, and also they're talking about some of their boat renovation planning. They promise a cruise in their next vlog, Boatman Benjamin. That's the usual fare. Um, Brilliant gentleman, caring wife, extremely intelligent people. But he hides behind his music. I'd like to meet the guy. He fascinates the heck out of me. I look at the guy and I see all the potential there to really be an outstanding musician. They did two vlogs. The last vlog they did, they had some foster kids over, and they couldn't show the faces, but there were three little kids. I guess they must have been under 10, maybe under 5. But what you saw was only their feet, and their shoes would dingle, dangle, dangle over the edge. And I guess they had them up on the hatch cover. You know, the one that you slide back over the opening to go down into the boat. And the kids were just laughing and giggling. I don't listen too much anymore to his music. And I always watch his vlogs for at least 5-10 minutes. And if he's doing something that interests me, I keep going. More to explore. This is the Australian couple, Ali and Pete with their dog Zika. I like it. I normally watch them. I encourage you to watch this one. What he does is, this is I'll give it an 8, 9. He talks to himself. And I teased him about it in a chat. Ali shot back and said, he's not talking to himself. He's talking to Ziga. Okay. Ali is the lock person and not the tiller person. But she's also the navigator and the map maker. And I love her maps. I asked her once how she did them, and she told me, and I just didn't understand it. But anywho, yeah, I liked more to explore. And this one, they're just sitting around, not really doing much at all. They're in lockdown, so really they can't. They're doing their Christmas decoration. It's a Christmas vlog. Cruising Alba. This is Marina, and I guess his name is Miles. Yeah, they're on the boat, the Alba. And what they're doing this time is they just talk to you about how they celebrated Christmas. Pass. Narrowboat Tales. This is my buddy Ian on the Morning Star. And I think is that Tattenhall Marina where you are, or Mercer? I can't remember. But he's hyping his 2 Christmas vlogs. The one on the 23rd, which was the 4 guys plus David Johns. And the other was on Christmas Day. And that was a 2-hour wonderful vlog where he encouraged audience participation. They're both pretty long, folks. It's one of those things that if you've got nothing else to do and you're eating a sandwich and you're just trying to kill time, put them up because they are entertaining. It's just that they're very long, and trying to come up with 2 hours at a crack to watch the shows, it's hard. The narrowboat that James built, I'm just going to lump all of them into one, and there's got to be 5 or 6 vlogs this gentleman put up. To me, he is the king of vloggers and the king of do-it-yourself vloggers, the DIY king. He is so thorough, and he plans everything so damned well. And he tries so hard to really express why he's doing something. In his last one, he did one on the internet, how to install an internet, and he didn't get into the technical stuff about I'm going to go get 3 or E or whatever, and I'm not going to get this. He just says, I got a modem, I got a router, I got to put one on the roof, I got to come in with a hole, he just how to set it up, not what gear or the technical side of it at all. He did one today, and the one today was just flat great. It's a 10. If you're at all interested in how many solar panels you need, for how many batteries that you need, he shows you and this is important, he shows you how to do an energy audit on your narrowboat. How to determine how much power you're going to draw off of your batteries and how many solar panels are you going to need to reset that energy. And it's just a fascinating vlog. It's not that technical. He does go through it. It is, I guess it is technical because it's all a lot of numbers, but it's easy to follow, I guess is what I want to say. He won't get you in the weeds. You'll actually be able to understand what he's doing. And I'm telling you, when I get my narrowboat, I'm going to do it. I'm coming back and review this vlog. Then let's see. Then we're down to Canis Bannon. Canis, he blows hot and cold. He's done 2 vlogs in the last 5 or 6 days. He did one that was very pensive and thoughtful, and I didn't care for it. He's also a do-it-yourselfer, and pass. I like him. I like him as a person. I don't want to follow him, but I'll probably watch a vlog from time to time just to see what it's like. He's got a great family, and when he brings the family on, they're enjoyable because of the banter and the happiness of the family. But straight up, no. My Narrowboat Venture, Alan Davies out of Yerveltoff or Yalvertoff on the Albertine. I watch him, and I watch him because he's cruising and he's centered in the area I'll be in next June. That's my dog. Oh, he's chewing a bone. And I'm going to be doing the Leicester Ring, and Yelvertoft's right there at the far southeast corner of it. And he shows you where it's a nice place to moor. He shows you where the internet signals are good, where the shopping is. Now, his cruising range isn't that big. He doesn't go much further than the bottom of the Foxton Flight, and he doesn't go much further west than, say, Hawkesbury Junction. A lot of his stuff, he's got a big following. If he was somewhere else in the area, I'm not sure how many of his vlogs I'd be watching. Sasha's Narrowboat Life. Sasha's another one. Just like Alan, they're both wonderful people. I don't want to take a thing away from that, and lift my glass to them and buy them both a beer. Do I want to spend a lot of time vlogging? Sasha. She has this ability to flip into different characters, and she does skits on it. Her one about the Harecastle Tunnel was very funny. She did one for Christmas, and she brings out her favorite character, and she's never told me what the name of the character is, or maybe she did, but it's the pirate. Anyway. That's what that one's about. The pirate comes out. Let's go. Lots of them, guys. Lots of them. Hannah the Narrowboat. This is Lee and Paul. Lee is fantastic. But it's like a Punch and Judy show. That's what you're watching with Lee and Paul. Where are we, Lee? What are we going to do, Lee? What did you just do, Lee? I mean, I don't know. Pass. And to be frank, I watch it because of Lee. Okay? He did a Christmas show, where he had on, I guess it was an elf costume, but he looked like he was in drag. Life Afloat. This is Mark on Around the Bend, and the poor guy, he's in bed, and all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. There's water in the towpath, and he had to deal with the flood. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to see a flood, watch him. Part-time boater. I don't watch these. It's Marianne and Peter. Peter is a heck of a musician. The name of the boat is the bandoneon, and it's a musical instrument. I wish they'd play it once just so we can hear what it sounds like. But all of their shots so far, 90% of it has been indoors, and the word's contrived. They're trying really, really hard to find something to say. Project Narrowboat, Johnny London. He did a cruise. And let's see what else my notes say. He does great photography, by the way. I said watch it. That was my note. My note says give it a 9. It's a nice lockdown type of get out of your lockdown blues. Watch this, and it's a fun one. Foxes Afloat live chat. I don't really need to say anything about foxes. I watch them. I'm going to tell you now. To me, they're a 10, and I'll always watch them. I'm not going to say I'm always going to watch their 2-hour special, but extremely entertaining, extremely professional production. And that goes also for Robbie Cummings. It goes for Minimalist. And of course, the Prince of Narrowboat Vlogs, David Johns, on Cruising the Cut. So those are my top 5. I mean, I'm always going to watch those. Another one I'm always going to watch is Onboard Isness and Mindful Narrowboaters. The Mindful Narrowboat is probably now, if it's not my number 1 vlog favorite, it's number 2. And Onboard Isness is probably one that I always watch because when I'm done, he leaves me with something to think about, and he leaves me with a positive feeling. I've done my bit with organized religions. Thank you very large. But watching Onboard Isness is almost like going to church. It's almost a religious experience to me, so I watch it. Okay, let's get back. Sorry. Narrowboat Girl. Yeah, Narrowboat Girl. 8 or 9, easy. 2 courageous ladies with great story. And it is a soapbox opera. It is the Perils of Pauline. I'm watching it not because they're going to learn a lot about narrowboating, though I got to tell you, Emma, you sometimes you come up with some nice interviews and you do some nice shows. When I'd say that, but how to do a lock or this, that. Sometimes you're a little too rushed. But I'll always watch them. They're just 2 fun ladies. I like to hear their story. It's a very courageous story. Robbie Cumming, we've talked about. He did a Christmas special. Minimalist, we talked about. They did a Christmas special and a Christmas card. I'll probably talk more about Minimalist at the bottom. So those are both 10s. Trev's Travels. Trev is another one where you need to be a follower. You need to be hooked on the personality in order to watch it. He and I have a lot in common. We both, quote, did our time in Chicago. Because most people that leave Chicago, you felt like you just left a prison. So we did our time. And we have that to share. And I'm looking forward to meeting the guy in the flesh this coming spring, just to raise a glass or 2 and talk about the bad old times in Chicago. Narrowboat Tales, again, they did the Christmas live special. We talked about the Narrowboat Isness. Florence Rose, they did a blog. I'm not a fan. I'm going to probably stop watching them. I don't know. There's nothing. It's another one of these things where you have to be part of the cult, part of the following. I don't want to say cult, but part of the following. Life Aboard Amy Jo. Ditto. No, I'm teasing. Life aboard Amy Joe is Chris and Steve. When they're cruising and they're not trying to experiment with live casts or anything else, when they're just out on the cut, and they did some back in November and October, and they're talking about the local history and the banter back and forth, and Steve tells you what he's seeing and what it means to him. Those are the good vlogs. So I'll always watch at least the first couple of minutes to see what I can expect. I'm not going to make a lot of friends today, I don't think. Lorna James Adventures. No, I nothing there. I don't watch it anymore. The Project Narrowboat. We talked about Project Narrowboat. Admiral's Adventures. Guys, this is a terrible vlog. They're all an hour to 2 hours long, and unless you're into the Norfolk Broads, why would you watch it? That's enough. I see. I'm saying bad things. I didn't mean to say bad things. So I'll just say it this way. You might want to pass on this unless you're going to do the Norfolk Broads. If you are, this is a one that you might want to consider. Boy, does that sound positive? Part-time boater. Well, they were in a lockdown on this one. And they just... Oh, this is the one. This is another husband and wife. Again, unless you bond with them and you want to hear more about their story versus The Cut or Narrowboats, if you're into them as people, yeah, you'll watch him. He's a talented musician, and he goes about, and they had a contest. We're going to play the chords on a guitar for Christmas songs and Christmas carols, and it's up to you to guess. And they give you the answers, and I'm not going to let the bag out of the cat. Aussie Boater. I'm not a fan. That's all. Our Narrowboat Home. They did a Christmas special, and these are very nice people, and I will watch them from time to time. I watched them this time, and you can see how nice they are and how well they get along. They've got a dog named Jeffrey, and Jeffrey just cut up a rug and just wouldn't let them alone. You know, whining and yelping and playing with his toys, and here's this couple trying very hard to sincerely give you their best wishes for Christmas, and Jeffrey's not having any of it. Give him a look. One time I think I said to you that this would be the next vlog you'll subscribe to. It may be. The narrowboat that James built, we've talked about it. My narrowboat venture, we've talked about it. Bye for now. Life at 2.3 miles per hour. That's Andy Tidy, the canal hunter. That's a 10. I mean, I never miss an Andy Tidy. How many of you guys read the Andy Hardy detective series for kids, the Andy Boys, the Andy Brothers? Whoa, that was a must-read for an American kid that in my generation. Just like Nancy Drew was a must-read for the women of my generation. But Andy Tidy tells you the underground secrets of the canal, and he exposes why were they built and what was the symbiotic relationship that existed between the canals and the coal and the iron and the agricultural goods and the clay and the limestone. And if you're a history buff and you're serious about seeing what was there, what is there now, and what could be there in the future, you want to watch Andy Tidy. Let's see. What's next? Oh, our narrowboat quest. This is Eileen and Pat. Eileen and Pat like history, but they don't like the deep history of an Andy Tidy or a Stephen Parker. Oh, by the way, Andy Tidy just does the BCN, Birmingham Canal Network. If you want to know about the Manchester Canal Network, then that's Stephen Parker. He's just as good. Some of his earliest stuff was called the Heritage Explorers. I can't remember the name of the guy that put out his vlog. It was not under him. But anyway, he's worthwhile just Googling to find out about. He's now in charge. He's now working on I think it's the Rochdale. He's part of the Rochdale Restoration Group. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to get back to Eileen and Pat. Eileen does the history, and she'll tell you things like, okay, that used to be a World War II blockhouse. Or I think they did one recently. Hold on a second. I'm going to put you on hold. I think they did one on the ironworks off the Llangollen. Right, that's what it was. They were on the Monte at the Queen's Head Inn. And they decided that they'll take a stroll, and it was fascinating. And I give it a 9. Let's see. Next one is Never Too Late, The Journey. And it was just a Christmas greeting. It was a 1-minute long thing. If you want to hear the greeting. Narrowboat clips. This is a new thing that they've been out for a while. Don't get me wrong. It's just new to me. They do mainly just video camera on the bow. And you listen to the real, you don't listen to much because most of their stuff is time lapse. So you're zoom. But if they say, I'm going to go from point A to point B, let me tell you, you see everything from point A to point B. I watch them because it's a navigation aid for me. I just like to see the canal. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I don't want to get into the chit chat. I'd give them a 6 or a 7. They do nice. Well, I'm going to change that. I'm 7 or an 8. They do great photography. When they hit a town that's of interest to them, they go into the town and they shoot it up. I can't remember what's the name of that town that they did that I really loved. Townscapes, that's all I've got here. But it's Bridgewater. Really beautiful photography. Next, Boatman Benjamin, we've talked about. Project Narrowboat, we've talked about. Boating Beyond. Ooh. That's Matt and Allie. They've gone through they went through the AOL, and that boat was a disaster. Now they have the Poppy, and Matt is involved in fixing it up an awful lot. It's another couple where you have to feel some kind of simpatico. You've got to feel like you want to watch it. You're not going to learn an awful lot about cruising. Matt can teach you a lot about fixing because he does a lot of it. But I've got other time. I've got other things to do with my time. I guess is the way I want to say it. Lately, they've done some excellent drone work. They were stuck on they're in Stoke-on-Trent, I believe it was, and they did a nice town tour. If you're hooked on them, give them a look. He does, and they do have an engaging personality. Life is better with a boat and a dog. Is it? Well, this is part 3, and they're on the Ashby to the end. I like this one because I hope to do the silver propeller thing at the end of the Ashby, and he told you how to do The Coot Coven. I, I, nice people. We finally, in the last one, we met her significant other. We also found out she's going to have a baby. Um, and I don't want to get into this reality show. I don't want to, you know, I'm cutting way back on the vlogs I watch, folks. And I'm not going to be watching this one, I don't think. I mean, I'll probably just tune in for 2 or 3 minutes to see if there's anything there, but, you know. And let's see. Oh, a life full of meaning. There's two life full of meanings that we got to talk about, I believe. No, this one is the one about they're on their tier 4, and this is today's vlog. Um, it's typical Lisa and Glenn. I think I watch them, and I know I'll continue to watch them just because uh, Glenn is one heck of a nice guy, and Lisa is one heck of a talent. Lisa pulls off more new things. Be they a blog, a live stream. Um, she did one the other day where her normal Sunday show, she did it as a live stream, and she showed you the show while she and Glenn are talking and are talking with you through the chats, and I just mind blower to me as a vlogger. You got to be hooked on them. You got to be hooked to watch the dailies, and I'm not that hooked. I won't miss a Sunday show, but the dailies, and I won't miss a special that they do. Lisa is so involved in her family. You know, here's Life Full of Meaning in a nutshell. If I were to walk on board their boat, or they on mine, and I sat down, I would feel like I've known them all my life. They let you so much into who they are and what their life is. You feel like part of the family. Now, come on, you guys out there that watch that, tell me, don't you feel the same way? Don't you feel like you could call Glenn up and he'd come on over and fix your car? They're that kind. They're just salt of the earth people. And yeah, it's so easy to get hooked on them. It really is. Next. Narrowboat Will. We've talked about Narrowboat Will. By the way, what is that tiller pin that you got? Is that a Star Wars character or some kind of an abbot? The Narrowboat that James built. Gary Captain Phillips. Gary is very likable. A lot of people really enjoy Gary. They like him because he just opens up and tells you whatever's in his heart. But do you want to get into that? Do you want to be his next best friend? Sure, you will always hope and wish him the best. And I'll leave it at that. The Tiller people, Keith and Bernadette. They did a Christmas special. But I give them an 8 or a 9 at least. I love those two. Bernadette is so serious. And, but when she talks to the people along the canal, she opens up and she's just as friendly can be. But it's Keith. And Bernadette is so supportive of what he does. And his history that he gives you. And he's just so personable. I'd love to have a sit down with that guy. He's, so many of these vloggers that you see, you get so much into their story that you really feel like you know them. You chat with them and you get chats back. And after a while, even though you've never met them and probably never will, you feel like they're your best buddies. And, Keith can do that to you. He is such a personable guy, and he tells you straight from his heart how he loves the narrowboat life, and he shares with you his observations and his history lessons. I don't care too much for some of his jokes, but he's honest about it. He tells you, hey, you may not like this joke. Okay, that's enough of that. Watch that one, by the way. That's a good one. They go to Market Drayton. It's not really a vlog, this last one, so don't watch it. It's just, bow cam at time lapse. Benjamin Vintage Finds. This is one we probably shouldn't be watching because you're not going to learn anything about narrowboats or narrowboating, especially in England. And I'll probably stop watching it, though I'm a little bit intrigued by her. In this one, she was doing their Christmas dinner. They took a turkey, smothered it, I'm talking smothered it in bacon, wrapped it up in aluminum foil, and put it in the oven. It didn't cook. It was so cold that the propane wouldn't flow. And her dad, and we finally get to see the dad and the mom, he goes out and he shakes the propane thing enough so that the turkey cooks, and then they eat. And you get to see the kind of boats that they hire over in France. They're the same as you would if you. I don't know how many of you done the Canal du Midi, but it's that kind of a boat. I'm going to pass on her. She sells vintage clothes. She's 23. There's just nothing in there for narrowboating. That's okay. Pass. Ooh, we're getting down to the last page, folks. Project Narrowboat, we've talked about that. Stan's Happy Hour. He does a rehash of a cruise that he took on a hire boat. He doesn't own a boat. He's like me. But he does a lot of towpath walking. He loves the narrowboat scene. He's got a very wry sense of humor. In this last vlog, it's about the outtakes from his summer cruise around the Avon Ring. Pass. When he's good, he's good. And when he's not, he's not. And this is somewhere in between. Narrowboat Tales. This is Ian in his last vlog of the year, and he says thanks for the memories. Basically, he's another guy. There are some vloggers out there that are really pushing the envelope, trying to learn and see how much more they can do and how much more they can get out of YouTube technology. We've talked about Lisa; she's one, but no one can hold a candle to Ian or to say Sean of Foxes Afloat. Always pushing it, always seeing what else is out there to do. And he is. And for that reason, I'll always be watching Ian. And then Taylor's Aboard. Taylor is Josh, and the family's name is Taylor. I think the dad's name is Andrew, and I can't remember the mother's name. But here's Josh living at home, and the parents decide, we're downsizing, we're moving on to a canal boat. Josh looks around and says, "Ooh, what am I going to do?" So he decides to move on to the narrowboat with him. And decides to vlog. And he's learning. And I guess we need to have patience with him. I just wish he would focus it solely on his dad. He has got an excellent presence. And the mom too, except she likes to yap too much. But I'm going to pass on them. Sorry. Okay. We've done it. That's the narrowboat review. It may be my last. But folks, I tried to be as honest and as open as I could be without being too offensive. In the future, I'm just going to concentrate on the ones I want to see. And the rest of them, I'll stay subscribed because I know it's nice to have those kind of numbers. But I'm going to concentrate on those that are 7, 8, 9s, and 10s. To me. This is to me. My opinion. Another project I'm going to be taking on, probably in January in the new year, is a project on the silver propeller. I watched again the Minimalist special. It was an hour and a half, 2 hour special with the inland waterways, and it was done last summer. I want to say July. They had Michael and Joe on, and they talked about their silver propeller quest and how they did it and what the points are and all that other stuff. And I was entranced. And I have this is what my little brother gave me. This is Joe's maps. And I will soon be putting the 20 points, the 20 positions. Actually, there was 26 that they've mentioned. And I'm going to put them on that map. And I'm going to make a vlog of it. And we're going to do it right here in the vlog studio. And this map behind me, I'll take little stick pins and I'll put in those 20 points. I'm going to talk about my wants list. How am I going to go about buying the Narrowboat? How am I going to go about doing the silver propeller? Then when I land there in June, we're going to go along together, and I'll show you the boats that I see, the boat that I pick. We're going to do Crick, and I've got the 3-day pass to Crick. We'll do that together. Then I've got a 2-week cruise with my brothers, and that's to do the Leicester Ring counterclockwise or anti-clockwise. And there's 2 silver propeller spots, one up on the Irwash and one up on the Ashby. So, like typical Americans, we'll probably do the canals at 60,000 miles an hour. So we can fit those 2 in. We want to do the Leicester Ring. I want to do that. I also want to go off that ring to maybe Great Haywood, because I hear they've got some great boats there. And I'd like to do Coventry. And the only way to do all of that is if we cut some things out. But you'll get to be there with us. You'll see us do it. And they have better senses of humor than I do. You'll enjoy them, assuming they let me vlog. And then afterwards, we'll go back out boat shopping. And once we find a boat, we'll go through the process of getting it fitted out to my specs. And then off we go on the silver propeller. And on as frequently as possible, I'll let you know where I am at, where I'll be the next day, because I've got to finish the silver propeller by the end of October. I can't stay any longer. Visa issues, plus weather issues. But can I do the silver propeller? Gosh, with your help, maybe I can. Maybe I can. If you see where I'm at, you want to come out and open a lock and go for a ride, hey, we'll give it a shot. First beer's on me. Well, folks, I'm going to wind this up. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I didn't upset you if I said less than positive things about a vlogger. Again, I respect them all, and I value their effort totally. And I don't want you to stop watching those that you love. Write me a nasty note if you want to get it off your chest. I'm just being honest. Okay, Jack Beyer, your Narrowboat reviewer, saying, as an arrogant American as you must think I am, I wish all of you, a most happy New Year, a safe holiday, and a wealthy, healthy, COVID-free 2021. Bye. Or as Keith would say, ta-ra!